Hello everyone. Actually, I'm going to do a quick check here, make sure everything is working correctly. Yes, it is. And I'll include that just because, well, it was 5 seconds of your life and 5 seconds of mine, and it didn't really matter in the end. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this PvP matchup. It is going to be Todd versus Sase here on a kill on waste. A kill on waste here. Apparently, I've been saying it all wrong. Never learned how to sound out words. Just learned to memorize them and try to say them. So a kill on waste. Here on the top left-hand side of the map, we have Todd spawning as the blue Protoss player. Meanwhile, Sase spawning as the purple Protoss player over here on the bottom right. Apparently playing under the Chinese name Xiao something. Don't quite know what it says there, but I'm sure inquiring minds who want to translate it for me will do so in the comments. Now, I will address some concerns or some comments from the previous games saying that I act overly fake and I get easily excited about just Zerglings and Marines dying. Well, I find that to be very, very true in that I do get excited about early units falling and early units dying because there's a very, very large impact on the game. If you think about it, when you have a one-on-one fight, you really don't know who's going to win out on that battle. But if you have a two-on-one fight, you really know, or you know who should come out ahead. And in StarCraft, units that don't die are still useful. They're still able to deal damage, they're still able to soak up some damage, and generally, if you have 12 versus 6 of anything in a battle in StarCraft 2, at the end of the fight, if you fight to the death, the side that has 12, if you have the same units, normally has about like 9 to 0 at the end. That's just how big of a difference it is. So every unit matters. Every Marine, every Zergling, every Zealot in the early stages of the game where you don't have that many units, but you have plenty of time to micro, that is when the game really starts to take shape. Now, if you are not, if you don't care about those early Marines, Zerglings, Zealots, and are stuck in Diamond or below, then I do suggest you pay attention to those poor Marines. Just imagine having to write a condolence letter for every Marine that it falls, and maybe then you'll try to hold on to them earlier on. Alright, let's take a look at what's going down here. A lot has happened during my little bit of a rant. Sase did go for early double gas. Meanwhile, Todd went a little bit later. You can see also that Sase has gone for a second gateway. So both of these players are going to be powered off of 2 gateways here as the Mothership Core finally arrives to the battlefield. Now, what is Sase going to do with this one Mothership Core? That is a very, very key question. You can see as more Stalkers are still being trained, so it is a much more Stalker-heavy composition, much more Stalker-heavy composition. Meanwhile, we can see that there are sentries coming in from Todd. Now, I am curious as to how Todd has the amount of gas he has in order to even have a sentry at this point. Mothership Cores are out. Sase has a slight advantage there as his Mothership Core was out a little bit faster, meaning he does have a bit more energy. Now coming into play, you can see that, oh, a poor probe may get sniped down here. There goes 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 1 more. There it goes. There goes that scouting probe. And with a Stalker and a Sentry on the high ground, they do not want to give up that position, and all really Sase can do is just fire here very freely. Oh, are we going to perhaps see a Time Warp? This could be very bad. Time Warp could slow down. There's the Force Field, beautifully done, and this Stalker will fall. This is going to be a tremendous loss early on in the game here. You can see that more Stalkers are coming now in to reinforce, and now you see Todd going to be losing a Stalker. Alright, so both sides dealing some early blows there as the Stalkers now try to come up onto the high ground. Will not be able to shoot up there at all as the Stalkers are still off over here. Mothership Core has not gotten any shots, just flying around, perhaps baiting a little bit of those attacks there. The Stalkers have to be careful though, as Todd is going to have a bit of an economic advantage as his Nexus is nearly completed. Meanwhile, Sase's is about 25 to 30 seconds behind. We can see a Void Ray now coming in from Sase. Sase hoping to perhaps use air superiority, but it's not going to come out well, I don't believe, as there are so many sentries and stalkers already on the field to try and shoot down either Void Rays and Phoenixes. And we could have Oracles as well. Oracles are a very, very fast harassment unit, but I'm still waiting to see what Sase is going to be training off of this Stargate. So far, it's a very expensive paperweight, as it finally now trains up that Oracle. Both sides getting up onto 2 bases. Sase being much more aggressive than his Frenchman counterpart here. Not that Sase is French. His European counterpart, excuse me. Stalkers, sentries still coming together here, as the Mothership Core wasn't really able to do very much at all. All he did was suffer a little bit of actual hull damage, as a poor Zealot going to get caught in midfield. That is not going to be good for Todd. Early battles and early skirmishes, all units matter heavily, as that Zealot gets zapped in the back and taken down. Immortals now being trained. One Oracle should be able to make its way out here in just a moment. Where is it? There it goes, off to the north, already at 70 energy and climbing. And if it can snipe down a few probes, this would be a huge advantage. Alright, you can see that the sentries and the stalkers are choosing the absolute wrong time to make their way down the field here. Oh, there is an Immortal, but it's an hallucinated Immortal, and quickly realized by Todd. Nicely done. Meanwhile, all the stalkers are now kind of stuck with force fields. What is that Immortal doing there? That Immortal is simply walking over to the other side of the base. It will get taken down at the cost of 1 stalker, as all the units are still retreating. The Oracle did get 2 kills, and that is it. Not effective, and he did not turn off the pulsar beam. His mana is still depleting, as the sentry now tries and retreat all the way back home. That's not going to be good at all. Are the stalkers going to get off some easy shots? It looks like they will. There are some, I believe, some kind of messy force fields, as both sides not playing superbly, I gotta say. Both sides making a bit of mistakes. Perhaps the multiple prong fights, losing of the Immortal, the force fields, not paying attention at the right place at the right time, really costing both of these players a fair number of units. Alright, 200 resources lost total. Warp Prism now coming in. We are looking at, I believe, what is this? We are looking at a Warp Prism now being trained, as we are also going into double. Is that double Stargate? Yes, double Stargate. And I'm really curious as to what Todd wants to do with double Stargate. Stargates are extremely expensive to place down, and on top of that, their units are also very gas intensive. If we do see both of these Stargates actually training up units, then we are not going to have anything or any gas left really, except for a handful of Zealots and perhaps a Stalker or 2. Warp Prism now making its way out across the field. You can see that the Oracle, did it activate the Pulsar Beam? No, it did not. It is just following that Warp Prism there, as the Warp Prism of Todd now in full retreat. Double Void Rays now coming online. No weapons upgrade coming in from the Cybernetics Core, as we're looking at another Zealot who may get taken down in midfield. This is not what you really want to be seeing here, taking a little bit of damage in the back, as it is going to be retreating. Meanwhile, Sase now moving out, perhaps knowing or realizing that there are going to be some units here. Todd now just warping in 1 Zealot and 1 Zealot only. What is going to be happening, as the Oracle is just outside of sight range, unable to spot this Zealot on the low ground. Alright, destructible rocks, or the rocks have been destroyed. The rock tower has been destroyed, blocking off that back path there. We do see a handful of Void Rays, 3 Void Rays, more Void Rays still being trained. This double Void Ray production from Todd should catch his opponent completely off guard. Add on top of that the number of Zealots that we're going to have, and things may go from bad to worse very quickly. Alright, here you go. There are some hallucinated Archons, and are we going to see the engagement now come in? There's the Prismatic Alignment. Photon Overcharge is there as well. Void Rays are engaging. Who's going to keep their Void Rays around longer? I can't tell which one is friendly or foe. Time warps locations there, as the Photon Overcharge really adding in a bit of extra damage. So far, losses are racking up higher, but it looks as though Todd is going to be losing this battle. You can see that Sase just came in with a very brutal force of Stalkers and Immortals, finishing off much of the army and taking down some of the buildings as well. it really just looked like Todd was not expecting such a large attack coming in along his way. Stalkers and Immortals still finishing off more units there. You can see another Immortal gets taken down. There's the GG by Todd as Sauce takes game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game 2.